Hello everybody, welcome to the 5th episode, and as soon as I see if everything is running perfectly, we're gonna start. Okay, seems like everything is running okay. So, for today, I have prepared 2 scenes over here, as I said, to do some level design. I just did a couple levels. They aren't very long, they're just pretty much basic. Just these 2. With like 2 different paths you can choose from, so you can go right side to take this gem, or you can go left side to get this gem. Alright, so what we want to do today, we want to add an enemy entity which will move around, which will patrol between 2 points, between 2 vectors. And we also want to make a main menu at the start of the game with the title of the game, with the option to start the game or the option to leave the game. Okay, so let's do that right now. Let's start from making the enemy entity. So there is in the Sunnyland asset, there is in the artwork, in sprites, enemies, there is an opossum. We can just take it, grab all of them, change the pixel size per unit back to 16, and just drag them all out at once, so there is an animation created automatically. And we just wanted to take it out to the animation tab, create a new folder, opossum, and name it walk, basically. Okay, good. So as you can see now, this opossum will walk. You can adjust the speed of this animation just as you would with the other animations. So you can just slow it down if you want to. Yeah, works about right for me. Okay, so now let's go to project and to the assets and create a new script, because we want to have a script for the opossum, or basically an enemy, because as long as all of our enemies will patrol between 2 points, we can just use the script, so we don't really have to name it according to the name of the animal, the enemy in this case. Hello. Okay, so what we need to do, first of all, we need to have some way to declare these 2 points between which we will patrol, the enemy will patrol. So in this case, we have to create 2 vector 2s. So a public vector 2 target 1, and a public vector 2 target 2. This is it. Also, we have to see, because right now, just as with the character, whenever he's moving, he's always looking to the right side, so we have to flip it. So we have to also have a boolean for this enemy, if it's flipped or not. So we don't need the public, just private bool going left, perhaps, maybe, because normally he's walking to the left side, so we can just say it's true. No, actually that's not. Let's just do it like that. Okay, and also we need the sprite renderer, so we can actually flip the enemy entity. So we can name it private. I will show you how to assign it in the start function. So just private sprite renderer sr, and go create a new void, which is the start void that I have just deleted. So void start, And in these curly brackets, we want to assign that SR is a function is a result of the function called getComponent. Then we have to type what type of component it is. So in this case, sprite renderer. And then as it is a function, so we just give brackets and a semicolon at the end. Okay, so right now we have the sprite renderer assigned over here. We have the going left, which we want to have it true for now, so just say true. We have the target 1 and target 2, and we also need to have the movement speed of our character of the enemy, so a public float move speed. So that's basically it, if I'm right, and yes, this is it. Okay, so now we go to update. So every single frame we want the enemy to move accordingly to the first or the second target, depending on if the enemy has to go left or to go not left, as in this boolean over here. So if going left, do something, move to the left, and else we move to the right, right? Okay, so if we are going left, we want to have our first target to be on the left side, so like be the okay, so as he has to move left or right, we want him usually to be like in the center between two patrol points. So let's say this gem is patrol point number 1 and this other gem will be the patrol point number 2. So he has to be set over here and have two targets on the left and on the right, so he's just moving around left and right side. Okay. So if he's going left, then we have to create a new function, which is so okay. Oh yes, because we need the rigid body. Okay, let's assign the rigid body to the enemy. 2D, rigid body 2D. And we also want to have constraints to freeze the rotation, and in this case we want to freeze the rotation on the y-axis because we want this enemy to just move left and right, not up and down. So he just doesn't fall right now, so he's just gonna stand. As you can see, he's just having his walking animation right now. So we also have to assign the rigid body. Do we? Okay. Okay, so this game object dot position transform dot position equals to vector2 dot there is move towards. Yes, okay, so move towards this function, and then we have three things we need to assign, which is the current vector2, so our position, which is just transform dot position. We also can delete the game object dot over here, so just transform position, comma the target, so our first target, which is, as I said, the first target will be always on the left, so target 1, because as this boolean says, if we are going left, we want to go to the target number 1. Okay, and then we need to assign the move speed, so move speed, but we want it to be also duplicated by the time.delta time, because we have it in our update function, which can be faster or slower depending on the strength of the PC which is the game run on. And this will already move the enemy. Yes. So right now we need to also check, we can just assign the same thing over here to the else, but instead of target 1 we want it to be a target 2. Good. So another thing, we need to check if our enemy has already gone to this particular target, because if we run this right now, you'll be able to see that, let me reset this transform over here. Okay, so 11.4, let's just add target 1, which will be, let's say 8 or 7, okay, maybe 4. And let's see, he's just gonna walk in place, okay. Okay, so basically we need to have this move towards up here, and also check if he already has gone into this spot. Oh yeah, because I haven't set the move speed. Okay, so inside of the going left if statement, we want to have another if, which will see if the vector 2 dot distance, so between vector A and vector B, which will be the transform dot position. So if the distance between the position of our enemy currently and the position of the target 1 is less than 0.1 f. So if it is, then we want to flip on the the sprite on the x-axis, right? So sr dot flip x, this is equals true, okay, because basically he's moving left, basically. So just we have to flip it to move right, and then we need to change the going left to false, okay. And we also need to have this in the else statement as well, so just keep it over here and just change the target from 1 to 2, and then change these two booleans. So we need to unflip it, and we need him to go left now. Let's go back to Unity. Let's go to the enemy. We need the second target, which will be, let's say 15.4, and the move speed to be like, I don't know, 10. Let's see. Okay. Let's see if it's gonna work. Yeah, so basically right now he's just running around left to right, as you can see. Whenever he reaches the 7 or lower, then he's just going to flip and go to the right side. Okay, so I'm going to change the speed to like maybe 5. I think it's like too fast right now. Okay, this works for me. Yeah, this will be good. Alright, so this is the speed I want. And this is basically how to make patrolling enemies. We also have to attach the 2D box collider, box collider 2D. Yep. Check the colliders. We want it to be a little bit smaller over here. And just both sides, just a little bit, squeeze it a little bit, so it's a little bit easier for the player to dodge it. Okay, and also we wanted to set, we want to set it to a trigger, and just tag it as an enemy. We can name it as an opossum over here, and just create a prefab out of him. So just drag the opossum over here. Good. Now we have a prefab of the enemy entity, which can travel between two targets over here. We also want to go to movement and see over here on the untrigger enter, because right now we have an enemy over here, but it is only on the collision, and we want them to be on the trigger. So we can just copy it over here, from here to here. Right. So whenever the character touches the trigger, which will be an enemy, then he's just going to respawn. Good. Yeah, okay, so let's see if he is going to patrol around and if he's going to work properly. Let's just move the character over here, have the enemy entity over here, and just, let's say 4 maybe. Yeah, let's do that. And just set the x-axis between like 0 and perhaps, I don't know, let's say that much maybe. So this will be x 7. So between 0 and 7. And the y-axis to be 3.2, 3.2. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so he's working, but we have to set it. We need to attach him the proper order in layer. So let's go over here and have his order in layer, which is over here, to be like 3 maybe. Let's see. Yep, I think 3 is good enough. Yep, okay, let's do that. And just I want it to be a little bit lower, so like 2.7. Oh, my bad. So like 2.7 and 2.7. So he's actually dodgeable to some degree right now. So right now it's kind of hard. We could give the player the ability to double jump to make it a bit more possible, like a bit easier, because right now it's quite hard. So let's make a double jump for the player. It's going to be rather quick because we just want to have another boolean over here. So we have the bool jumping, and we want to have another bool, so private bool double jump. And where is the space key? Yep. So whenever he's not jumping, then he can jump. And also, okay, so there is 2 options. So whenever our character is not jumping, actually, let's make another just if statement. So let's just add it over here. So and not jumping, but the double jump. So and jumping is then this time the jumping is true, and double jump is false. Actually, let's just set it to true as well. Oops, I just opened something. To true as well. Yep. So in this case, we wanted to jump and then change the double jump. So double jump to be false. Yep. And then we want to go to platform and change the jumping to false and to the double jump to be true, because we want the player to we want to allow the player to double jump again whenever he lands again. Let's see. Okay, so this is not working right now. Let's just see why. So this changes into get key down. Let's change this to get key down, maybe. And jumping is false, then we are jumping. And whenever jumping is true and double jump is true. Okay, so basically he doesn't know if it's true right now or if it's not. Let's see. Okay, so right now the player does not jump. Sorry, it doesn't not double jump. I'm going to make this double jump public bool so I can actually see it while playtesting. So the double jump is, yes, it's allowed. Okay, so the problem is, oh, okay, my bad, sorry. We want to change the if order over here. We want to move this if up here, because first we need to check if it's a double jump or if it's the first jump. So right now it should work, I think. Yeah, now it works. Because the code goes this way, right? So whenever there is an update, the game checked if there is a space bar hit, and if it was, then it was applying the first if, which was back then the first jump, and the second jump right after it. So there was like no delay between two jumps, and it just made a double jump instantly. Right now we can make a jump and then make the second jump right here, because first we are checking if he is trying to double jump, and if he is not trying to double jump, then he's probably making a singular jump. It's a bit messy, but I hope you will get it, because the order over here is just important. Now we can just double jump, and it should be much easier to dodge this enemy. Yep, just as expected. Good. Okay. Okay, let's just go now back to Unity over here, and let's create the main menu, which will be used to display the title screen, to get into the game, to start the game, or to leave the game from the title. Sorry, I forgot to turn off the Steam. And then we can go from here to okay, so first of all, let's create a new scene over here. Create a new scene. We can just call it 0, 0 right now, because this is like the title screen. Add it over here. And because this is the first one which will ever load, we just want to have a canvas. We can add some just UI stuff on the screen. So let's create a panel. A canvas will be automatically created, because it's like it has to be attached to have any sort of UI objects working. So we have this big panel over here. We can just change the alpha over here to like full, change the color, something nicer over here, like that. Perhaps I also want to change, because right now, as you can see, when we scroll in, or we can change the game, there is this border around, because there is a texture, this source image applied, which is the background, and as you can see over here, it has these corners sliced, and we want to change it to basically to none. So just go up all the way, change to none. Okay, and right now we can see there is just full blue screen. Alright, so we have this panel, which is our background right now. Let's give it some text over here. So we can just hit on panel, go right click, UI text, and create the title over here. Let's make it big enough and just name it whatever your game is called. In my case, this is a 2D platformer. We can give the best fit. We can just increase the maximum size to like 80. Change the color if you want. I want it to be actually black. We can also change this font over here, but we need to have this font downloaded into our asset. So if you have, you can just go to Google and take a font which is which fits your game, and just we can drag it over here into Unity, and then you can apply it from the projects from the project folders over here to the font, and the font will change automatically. Okay, so 2D platformer. I want it to align vertically and horizontally, and then we need to add some buttons. So let's add UI and a button. So there is a button over here. This will be our start button. So just play the game. Underneath this button there is a collapse over here, and then we can go to text, and you can change what actually this button says. So we can just name it start or display. You can also change the best fit, do some coloring stuff. You can also change the background of the button over here. There is a couple of graphics over here. So there's normal color, which is like just the completely when we don't have the mouse hovering over the button, nor we are not pressing the button, or if it's not disabled. So right now we can just give it some color. Okay, it's good for me. And then this highlighted color, which will be when the player is hovering the mouse over the button. Okay, so right now we need to create a script which will handle buttons in our menu. So go hit right click over here, create C# script. We can just name it menu and open it up again. Reload the solution if you have to. So we won't be using these. Instead, we will be using the scene manager library. So using Unity engine scene management, and to create a function which can be used by the button, we have to make a void function. Not a void function, a function which will be public. So a public, in my case I want it to be a void because I don't want it to return anything. So a public void start. Sorry, not a start, because this is the built-in function. So play. And this takes no arguments. We just wanted to load the next scene. So the first, as in this main menu will have the index of 0 because it's the first scene, and the first level will have basically the scene index 1 right now because this is the 0. Okay, so scene manager dot load scene, and just type down 1, right? Because this one is 0, the next one will be 1. Okay, and also we want to add another button which will be the quit button. So just public void quit, and then we want this game to close. There is an application.close, I believe, exit. Yes, okay, there is this one. So there's an application.quit function over here. Okay, so we can save it up. Don't forget to save. And then go back to Unity. Go to the button. We can also make the second one already, so just duplicate this button. You can drag it down a little bit. Change this color. And change the text of it to quit. Okay, and now let's attach this menu. We can attach it to basically any object. We can just attach it to the panel so we remember what it is. And then you have on this button over here, you have this on-click list. We need to add a new position over here, and then we have to give this object which holds a script with our functions. So right now this panel, as I have attached it over there, so this panel, then we choose the function, we go to menu, and then we choose the play button because it's my play button. I'm just going to rename it play, and then this one will be quit. So again, on the quit over here, go to the list, add a new one, drag the panel over here, choose menu, quit. So at the runtime we can't really check if the quit button is working, so we can just try to press it, but it won't really do anything right now. But then we can only hit play, and this will actually work right now. Okay, so the thing is, we haven't attached this. We have to attach this scene basically, so you can just give add open scenes, but this one has to go on top. Okay, and now we actually will load the first level correctly. Yep, as you can see, this was my first level. Good, good. So there is this thing which actually popped up right now. But what is this? Okay, so this is actually some kind of error we can't really do anything about. So we just have to ignore it right now, because it's some sort of Unity editor stuff. Okay, so just don't worry if this pops up for you as well, because everything is working. Yeah, okay, so we have the menu, we have the title screen, we have an enemy which patrols. Let's also allow. Okay, yeah, let's create a script which will allow the player to pause, maybe not pause, but like using the escape key, access a quit button so he can leave the game, because right now when we build this game, he would have to just Alt F4 quit the game. So let's do that. Let's go to let's see. Okay, let's create just a new script. So we can just name it escape. Open it up again, and just over here, just use this void update over here, which will be we have to also create a function. Okay, so right now we just have to check if the player is hitting. So if statement input dot, oh, this didn't open up correctly. I'm just going to reload quickly the Visual Studio. Okay, so right now it should work. Input dot, yes, get key down, key code dot escape. Okay, dot escape. So whenever the player hits escape, we want to bring the overlay in. So we have to also give this overlay over here. So public game object canvas. We can just name it canvas over here. And also let's see, this escape over here, we need to write down the function for the quit button again. So it's basically the same thing we did in the menu, so we can just copy it. Okay, and another thing, because we want this particular class in every single the script in every single scene, then okay, let's just leave it like that. Okay, so if we do this, we want the canvas over here to be enabled, because let's see, I'll show you how it works. So we have this canvas over here, we can disable it over here with this checkbox to the right. If we do that, it's completely invisible, and also we cannot really hit any button if it's disabled. So we will just do that. Basically it's just going to be off, and if the player hits an escape, then he will bring this overlay on. Okay, so we also have to check a private bool is open. So if he hits an escape and is open, so if it's open, then we have to close it over here, and else if input dot get key down is a key code dot escape, and if we wanted to make this short, because right now we can just do this, right? Because we see is open, then it's automatically checking if it's true. If we want to have the opposite effect, so if it's not true, then we have to give an exclamation mark before the is open, so is open right now, because this will negate this boolean. So if it's false, then it will show up as true over here, and if it's true, then it's going to execute the code beneath, right? So if it's open, then this will close, right? Because this is open. And then if it's not open, then we want it to open over here, right? Makes sense. So is open will be then false, and the opposite is open equals true, right? Good. And then also this canvas dot enabled, sorry, enable, wait, canvas dot, sorry, not enable, it was disable, oh, is set active. Yes, okay, so GameObject.setActive, and then we have to set it to true or false. So is open is going to be false, so we set it to false, right? And then the opposite over here, so canvas.setActive true. Okay, good. So we can just apply, just clear this. This works, and go to a player. Let's go to prefabs. Where's the player? It's over here. So we can also attach this escape over to the player prefab. We really want to open it up, so just load the first scene. Unload the 0 one. Oh, my bad. Before you do that, just enable this canvas. Then unload the scene, save it. Go to the player, and also we want this canvas to actually be there right now, because it's not really there right now. So let's add a GameObject UI canvas, right? So a canvas with a button UI button over here, yeah. So the quit button, we can drag it over here. Let's see. We will change these colors later. It doesn't really matter right now. So just change text into quit. Okay. So the player has this escape script. So we need to drag this canvas over here, right? And also we want it to be false at first. So we can either do it every time, or we can actually just do this in script, but we will just do it by hand. It's fast enough. So just disable this canvas over here, as you can see. Right, the player has to have it over here, and then we also have to set this bool to be false. So is open is false because it's not open. All right. Then this quit button has to have the player script over here. Sorry, this player object, so we can access the escape function and quit. Okay. Now then, let's see if it's going to work. Okay, so if I hit escape, this quit button pops up, and if I hit it again, then it disappears, right? If I click it, yeah, we are at this game, so we cannot really see it yet. Okay, so we'll check this another time when we will actually build the game. For now, we have this main title over here, so we can go through all the game. So we can just go to hit play, have some cherries, have an enemy which patrols the area. We have the double jump, which is a nice feature. We have the respawn over here. If we get on top of the enemy, he's going to hit us, and we are going to respawn. If we fall down, then hopefully, yes, it actually respawns us. Everything seems to be working just fine. We can switch between levels. We can just play the game right now. So I can just do some playtesting so you can make this game much more fun. So right now I cannot really pick up this last gem because there is no next scene to go to transition into. Okay. This was a long one. I hope you've learned something over here. As I said, this patrolling enemy is pretty basic, but it's good enough for the first platformer game. And this canvas stuff, this UI stuff is a thing which is nice to just play around. Change the fonts, change the backgrounds. You can also change these images over here. There's a lot of stuff you can also always improve on. It's up to you only. Okay then. Hope you've enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you around next time. Goodbye.